here. We are talking about Jesus, right? So if you add Bambara beans, that's not what we are talking about. The word is Babawa. You get me? Babawa. Say it, let me hear you. Babawa. So can we do it again? Can we do it again? Say it's settled. 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 Baba Olúwa.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to ABC Amber TV live coming to you from the great state of Texas, precisely here in Houston. It's a pleasure to come to you. I like to say good evening to all of you watching from continental Africa, from Cairo down to South Africa. It's a pleasure coming to you. And I want to welcome all of you who are watching by way of the social media, on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you are watching. It's a pleasure to be with you. I am, as usual, Chris Anu. I've got a very exciting presentation to bring to you today. And I want to believe that for those of you who are joining by way of the social media, YouTube, Facebook, you will go on to hit your share button. Go on and hit your share button. Again, for those of you watching by way of the social media, we got very interesting subjects to cover today. So please, I will ask you as usual to quickly, in the next 5 minutes, give me 700 people right here on Facebook, in the next 5 minutes. We're over 300 already, I can see. So please, let's get the numbers jumping. So please, if you have joined Facebook, go ahead, hit your share button. Let us quickly get the presentation started. I'm going to be having a very special interview with Dr. Stella Emmanuel, the lady doctor who has the whole medical profession in fire, I should say under fire. I'm going to be talking to her and asking her some very important questions about that. And not only that, not only political questions, but also how these prescriptions can be helpful to every one of us out there in Africa, in the diaspora, wherever that you are, that you can watch and listen to us. So I have with me, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Stella Emmanuel. She will be joining me momentarily. We shall also be talking about the state of the Amazonian struggle, the state of the southern Cameroon struggle, and so we've got so much to talk about there. We're going to be talking about the colonial governor of the southern zone making a trip to Calabar to meet with the governor in Calabar. We're going to be talking also about the killings, recent killings, the killing of the pastor in Batibo. We're going to be talking also about the killing of the prisoner chained to his bed in Yaoundé. We're going to be talking about some allegations about Dr. Sako building a house in Kumbas. So many things to come to you with today. So please let us quickly go ahead, hit your share button. Let us get this started as soon as possible. Please go ahead, hit your share button. Hit your share button. Let us get this broadcast started. I see the numbers are jumping. Please, if you are joining, go ahead, hit your share button. For those of you watching by way of Facebook, the moment you give me 700 people, ladies and gentlemen, I will bring in Dr. Stella. And let me warn you, you may not be able to watch this interview after this broadcast. We have observed that every interview that Dr. Stella conducts on the social media, YouTube, Facebook, is shut down by YouTube, shut down by Facebook. So if you are not here today, you may not be able to watch this after. But what we will do, if Facebook will have to shut it down, if YouTube would have to shut it down, we will make sure it is uploaded on our own website, abcambertv.org, abcambertv.org. But that will be after the show. That will be after the show. So please, I'm waiting for you to hit your share button. Over 400 already. So hit your share button, and while you do that, let's do some. Let's take some time for some profit moment, please. Thank you.
You need a financial instrument that provides a hedge against inflation, 100% guarantees that you will not lose your money, has tax-free growth and distribution, the ability to take an interest-free loan, avoids probate, provides creditor protection, guarantees your family that your income will be replaced should you die, helps you protect yourself financially against chronic, critical, and terminal illness, and of course allows you to take money anytime for any reason at any age without a tax penalty. You need only as little as $50 to invest per month. Contact Irene Fombo. Tell 513-5014-177.
Hello there.
Or send an email to irenenpmsn@gmail.com. You need a financial instrument that provides a hedge against inflation, 100% guarantees that you will not lose your money, has tax-free growth and distribution, the ability to take an interest-free loan, avoids probate, provides creditor protection, guarantees your family that your income will be replaced should you die, helps you protect yourself financially against chronic, critical, and terminal illness, and of course allows you to take money anytime for any reason at any age without a tax penalty. You need only as little as $50 to invest per month. Contact Irene Fombo. Tell 513-5014-177. Or send an email to irenenpmsn@gmail.com. You need a financial instrument.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thanks for tuning in. I need to see those numbers jumping. So please go ahead again. Hit your share button quickly as you join the broadcast, and let us saturate this platform. Let us saturate this platform. Again, today I shall be talking on a number of things. First, the interview with Dr. Emmanuel, Dr. Stella Emmanuel. Then we're going to be talking about the ABC draft. We're going to be talking about, now let me say this, we have learned of so many people banned or blocked on ABC Facebook page. We do not know why people are being banned, ladies and gentlemen. That is not our making here. We have received lots and lots of complaints that they cannot comment on the Facebook page. They cannot receive notifications, and many are blocked. We have not blocked anyone. In fact, the problem is we have checked, we have gone back on the Facebook page to check, and people who say they are banned, they are blocked, they are not blocked. So we really don't know what is going on. We just do not know what is going on. Nobody has been banned, and we have checked, and nobody has been banned. So we just don't know whether we are being hacked or what is going on. We cannot explain. But if that will continue, expect a new ABC Facebook page in the coming weeks. If that will continue, If somebody keep on infiltrating and blocking people on our page, we will change the Facebook page. That is very, very important. I wanted you to know that. Nobody has blocked you. We don't know why you are not receiving notifications, but we are working on that. We will talk about the invasion of Bafut yesterday by the French Cameroon military. We will also talk about the meeting of the bishops in Douala that was last week, and talk about their resolutions and some few announcements. And if there is time, I will open the phone lines to take your phone calls. Thank you for hitting those share button. The share button. Keep on doing so. I will not keep Dr. Stella waiting for too long, because I know she got to get back to work. She's taking time out of work to be here on ABC. It's a privilege. Dr. Stella, having you on ABC. Before I bring you in, let me just give for our audience a little information about who that you are. Dr. Stella is a physician, ladies and gentlemen, a physician here in the state of Texas, precisely in Houston, the city of Houston. And she is not only a physician, she is also a minister with a ministry, a pastor. So we're not going to be talking only about her medical profession. We're going to be talking about some spiritual things also in this interview. So while you hit your share button, I'd like to welcome her. Dr. Stella, thank you for joining ABC Amber Television. It's a privilege to have you, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be on your show today, this afternoon.
All right.
Can you hear me? Okay, yes.
I'm sorry, I was muted there, wasn't getting you. Again, thank you for joining. It's a privilege to have you joining me here on the ABC. I have been trying to get you for quite a while. You are just so difficult to get right.
I'm actually busy. And I'm not busy. I mean, everybody wants to do interviews and stuff like that, but I'm really, really busy because my primary issue is taking care of patients. And right now, since there are very few doctors that are going to take care of these patients, all the media splash and everything, we're getting a lot of patients. So I'm just busy.
Now, how long have you been practicing a practicing physician?
I graduated medical school maybe 29, maybe about 30 years, I would say, yeah. 30 years.
About 30 years. And you began your practice where? Here in the USA or in Africa?
No, I graduated, I'm a Cameroonian, and I went to medical school in Nigeria, University of Calabar. I graduated from Nigeria. I came over to the US. I graduated from University of Calabar. I did housemanship internship in the University of in military hospital in Lagos. Then I came to America, and then I did a residency in pediatrics in Bronx Lebanon Hospital. And then when I finished that residency, I moved to Louisiana. I opened a practice. I opened a pediatric practice. But since I graduated as a general practitioner, I continued to do general practice. I was working in the emergency room and walk-in clinics and stuff like that on the side. So I've kind of been working emergency room and the clinic for a while. Then 3 years ago, I kind of just did emergency medicine, just working in emergency room for a while. And then I acquired this practice in Houston last year, about this time last year. I acquired a practice in Houston. So now I run an urgent care. I have a pediatric clinic and I work in the emergency room.
Your urgent care is based in Houston?
Yes.
No.
So when we had this,
yes, go on, please.
So when we had this COVID thing hit us, it kind of was, it was like weird for us because most of our patients, a good deal of our patients, maybe 15-20% came from Middle East, Far East. I've said it many times. So when COVID came, we were a little perplexed. We didn't know what to do. And then of course, I heard that one of my pharmacy friends told me that they're using hydroxychloroquine to treat COVID. I was excited because I trained in Nigeria. Back in Nigeria, back then we use Camoquine, Flavopine, Nivapine. I mean, we take it Sunday. All of us know this. Our parents used to give us Sunday for malaria. So it's something that we've taken, given to children, old people, pregnant women. We've used this medication. So I'm very comfortable. Even while I was here in the US, when people were traveling abroad and they came to me, I put them on meflopine or flavopine or pneumophene or hydroxychloroquine. I gave them these medicines to travel when they were traveling to malaria endemic zones. So these are medications we're quite familiar with. And of course, we also have lupus patients, people with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. They use this medication for years, 5 years, 10 years, they use this medication without any complication. I can't hear you, sir. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I hope you can hear me now.
Okay, now.
All right, we're going to take this a little slowly. You went to Washington, D.C. with this group called Frontline Doctors. Tell us, what was it all about? Who summoned you to Washington, D.C.?
I actually met those doctors. Like, I have one of my colleagues here in Houston that we kind of hooked up on online, Dr. Oso and Dr. Brian. Dr. Brian is in McKinney, Texas, and Dr. Oso is here in Houston. So we kind of got together because we were all advocates for using hydroxychloroquine and treating patients and not letting patients die. So we kind of got together and we started communicating with each other. But then I sent out a tweet a week prior to the, I think a week and a half prior to the program in Washington, D.C. I sent out a tweet saying that I refuse to be caged by fake science, that I have treated over 350 patients with hydroxychloroquine, zinc, and vitamins, and Zithromax, and they've done well. And that all these studies that are saying
what
that...
do you mean by you refuse to be caged?
I said I refuse to be, exactly. I refuse to be caged by fake science. I was not going to stop treating patients based on fake science because there were a lot of studies. Actually, there are about 50-something studies that have come out that says that hydroxychloroquine works, and about 10 studies that have come out and said that hydroxychloroquine doesn't work. And all those 10 studies, you can practically go and poke holes into them. Some of them are we are of the impression that most of these studies that are saying hydroxychloroquine doesn't work are sponsored by big pharma to discredit this drug because it's a generic drug. It's a nobody makes money off a cheap generic drug, so they want to discredit this drug. So there are many studies that have been done for both but over 50-something studies worldwide have been done to show that hydroxychloroquine works. People that want to see it will see it, but the few studies that show that it doesn't work, like for example, I'll quote the study they did in the VA. They gave it to people that were too late. They were in the hospital. They were too sick. Gave it to these patients, and of course they died. These patients were on their way to die anyway. That was the wrong group to use it. We're supposed to use hydroxychloroquine early. It's supposed to be used early. In fact, when I found out about hydroxychloroquine, I went digging and I found the article that was done under the Institute of Virology, which is under the NIH, run by Anthony Fauci in 2005. That said that hydroxychloroquine was so good, it was considered both a cure and a vaccine or a prevention for COVID-2. And you know what? These coronaviruses, they are very similar. So that is why we started using it. I didn't just pull using hydroxychloroquine out of a bat or out of some magic bag. It was actually something that had been studied and was shown to work. We're hearing stories from France when Dr. Raoult saw over 4,000 patients and had over a 99% positive this thing. We're hearing stories out of China. So with all this, we started using this medication, and then to our greatest dismay, the media started bashing it. Anthony Fauci, who is the one that should be telling us that use hydroxychloroquine works, was saying, oh no, it doesn't work. In some rare cases, it can cause heart problems. And then there were doctors like Dr. Gupta, that is actually a neurologist, coming out and say, oh no, it can cause heart problems. I'm like, you don't even have authority to say that. And then there's some crazy cardiologist recently that went on CNN and said, oh yes, it can kill you, it can cause heart problems. My question is, if you take HCQ for lupus for 10 years and it doesn't cause heart problems, why would you take it as a prevention for COVID and it causes heart problems? Why would you take it as a treatment for early COVID and it causes heart problems? So it does not add up, it does not make sense. But of course, CNN took it and ran with it and just talked and talked and talked. Then there was the Lancet study. That was such a disgrace because they had this study that had thousands and thousands of people. In fact, when the Lancet study was published, it actually stopped the WHO. WHO decided that it was going to shut down all clinical trials on hydroxychloroquine. And then when people looked further, they found out that these guys said they had interviewed over 100 and something people in like how many nations. When they went to poke through it, found out these guys were not even medical doctors. They were not even scientists. They were just a bunch of people sitting in the basement of their father's house, and sending out this data. So it was fake data. Lancet retracted that study. When Lancet retracted that study, CNN, the media did not cover it.
All right, if I may stop you a little there, we'll take it step by step. How many doctors in the US, I don't know whether you have any statistics or whether there are any statistics, whether in the USA, how many doctors believe, like you do, that this chloroquine can heal COVID-19?
Very many doctors believe it. Many doctors are using it. But here's the problem. There are a lot of doctors, I've treated and put over 100 doctors on prophylaxis. So a lot of doctors believe it, but a lot of them are scared for their license, because the minute you come out to say you're prescribing hydroxychloroquine, then the state board comes after you. Somebody comes after you. So a lot of them are scared for their license. A lot of them are scared to speak up. You know something? But I'm not the only person that's taking care of patients. In fact, Dr. Rich, that's a Harvard a Yale professor, actually did a paper on it and actually said that if they have that, because of lack of use of hydroxychloroquine, over 100 and something thousand people have died that didn't have to die. Nobody's bashing him. You know what I'm saying? Then, Dr. Zelenko is in the New York area, did a study, over 100 and something, they harassed over 1,000 and something patients.
Right.
They harassed him.
Yeah, I like the point you make. Nobody is bashing them, but when you guys came out and you were very vociferous, so many of you, it happened that you were the only one who has been bashed, continue to be bashed by the media and even some professionals. Why do you think they pick you out?
Actually, I think that is just because, you see, I did not just, when I came out and I spoke that day, I didn't just speak as a doctor. I spoke like a woman of God, and whatever I said it broke something in the atmosphere. It broke something over the minds of people, and it broke that fear that had caged a lot of people. And so it is, bottom line, they are attacking me because they know that I come from not just a medical profession, but from a deep spiritual area. But this is what I would say. What the devil meant for good, meant for bad, turn around for my good. I could have gone to Washington, D.C., talk about hydroxychloroquine, mention that I'm a pastor, and come back, But CNN and NBC and everything, they went to YouTube, they pulled out my ministry, they started like bashing it and saying all kinds of crazy stuff. But thanks to that, my ministry went viral. So so it was actually a good thing, because CNN, NBC, they've practically given me millions of dollars worth of advertisements. Now everybody's calling me from everywhere. The last Sunday I got to church, there were so many people there I didn't know what to do. In fact, we had to put a tent outside this week because there were just so many people. Where did they get the information from? From CNN. When CNN started bashing our ministry, people went to go look. Because you say, when you're preaching something that's truth, that is harassing people, and then somebody says it, people are like, oh my God, I've been through that. So people went to go check out my ministry.
Do you think the attention on you, the attention or the focus on you is because you are also a spiritual person, a pastor? Because again, I'm asking this because there were quite a number of you doctors in that meeting in Washington, D.C., where you were picked out. Could you think it's because of the combination of you being a minister?
Yes, because I did not just speak right there. I spoke into the atmosphere that broke the devil's back. And I don't back down, and I'm still praying, and I'm still decreeing, and I'm still prophesying over the US. So this is a diabolic plan. So those powers, they are scared to their wits because of what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying? And they know that they can't come after me because heaven backs me up, and I'm not backing down off that. So most of the other doctors that were there, they are just doctors. But I was the only one that was not just a doctor, but I was a battle axe, a spiritual person. So my voice went into the atmosphere, and my voice went all over the nations of the world. It brought hope to a lot of people. And in fact, when we left out of there, I'm the only, it's like a lot of people don't even know what the other doctors said. And the other doctors said some really, really powerful stuff, information that we needed, but nobody paid any attention to it. All they paid attention was my voice. So it was just a time when God was about to like break me out through the nations, the world. And God used CNN to do that. So that is actually a good thing.
So
when they say they are bashing me, the more they bash me, the more popular I get. So it's actually a good thing. So yeah.
Now, the problem with medications in this country is with the pharmaceutical industry. I'm sure as a doctor, you know that. There are those with the opinion that this debate is going on because of the interest that pharmaceutical industries have in, I mean, against this chloroquine. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Are you getting? Have you gotten any correspondences from any pharmaceutical company since you started this advocacy?
No. They're not gonna communicate with me. But the fact that YouTube takes me down, Facebook takes me down. In fact, Aetna took down my. I used to, like as a physician, I was just applying because usually my clinic is cash pay. I don't really take insurance, but I was trying to set up to take insurance for some of my patients, but they canceled some of my insurance contracts. You know what I'm saying? Then of course we're actually going to do a book deal, and Walmart and Target and all this. They say no, they can't touch me. That I'm too controversial. And then of course Facebook is coming against me, and then even the media, NBC, it's like there's just so much. If I was a little harmless lady, do you think they would be coming against me like that? They're coming because they know that I'm not harmless, and I'm about to, my voice is about, God's about to use my voice to do some things. But let me tell you something. Even Texas Medical Board tried to wrote me a letter and everything. But you see, I'm one of those people that I'm like, number one, I'm totally fearless. Number two, I have like total thick skin. I don't really care what anybody says about me. And when I took this battle up in the first 3 months, in March, April, May, and probably a good part of June, I was busy trying to bring people science, and I was trying to show people that, this works, this study was done here, this person did this here, this doctor took care of patients in the nursing home, and all 58 of them lived. I was trying so much to show data. The more I tried to show data, the more they asked for more double-blinded study. I was like, how are you going to ask for a double-blinded study? Oh, we want the science. And then somebody tells you, listen, this article was published by this person. Look at the science. Oh, no, there's no double-blinded control. Nobody does double-blinded study when people are sick. It's unethical. You know what I'm saying?
Let me just stop you there a little bit. Has anybody, the people who are challenging you, have any of them asked for the data of the patients you have treated? Or, the media, have they said, hey, can you give us some of your data to speak to these patients you claim you have treated? Has anybody asked that?
No, the patients are in plain sight. The patients, you know what my patients do? They go on Facebook and they put their testimony, and guess what? Facebook takes it down. It's amazing. Because I have treated a lot of patients. I've treated patients in all white, black, and the patients are willing to stand and fight for me. But each time they post, they say, we went to the Rosella's clinic, they take it down. Something they call it misinformation and take it down. So that is why I'm saying that there's such a fight that is like a whole. Can you imagine? To me, I was like, whoa! I think I've really arrived. If Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Walmart, at some point, a Walgreens and Kroger's and Walgreens and CVS, they stopped filling my prescriptions. I had to send out a tweet that will boycott them before they started filling my prescriptions again. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's just so crazy that all these people. So if I was that harmless, if what I was saying was not right, why would all these people be coming after me? Do you know what I'm saying? Because number one, if I was saying that I'm treating patients and they are getting well, they should track down the patients that have not gotten well. It's not even my honor to do, because my clinic is jam-packed every day. They can come there and see. There are people that have come to my clinic. One of the reporters came to my clinic, actually interviewed one of the patients. We didn't want him to do, but he snuck around. Interviewed one of the patients, and the patient said, I came here 6 days ago, I was sick. Dr. Emmanuel put me on this medication. I'm just coming back to follow up. I am well. Did you know that they took that interview down? They took it down. So this is like, it's weird. It's very interesting.
I like you.
But I am not the only person. In fact, there's a lawmaker recently that just came out called Paul Vallone, that said that he got treated for COVID. They have one of the Democratic contenders, the Minnesota lady. The husband got COVID and they used hydroxychloroquine. A lot of people have used it. The president is taking a lot of people take this hydroxychloroquine.
Why do you think people like that, I mean, public servants like that, will not come out to confess that this thing actually works?
They do. They have. Like Paul Vallone, right now, he's on Facebook right now. He came out and he talked about it. There was a lawmaker in Michigan that came out and said that hydroxychloroquine saved his life, and they censored her in Michigan. I'm not the only person that this thing is happening to. It's like there's this, but you know what? The cat is out of the bag, and they cannot put it back in. Right now, we're having calls from practically all over the nation. People wanting to get on hydroxychloroquine. You know, you don't even understand how horrible this is. Let me paint you a scenario. I spoke to a man that the other day, it broke my heart. 73-year-old man in the house, coughing, fever, shortness of breath. They called me that his oxygen was 85%. Normal oxygen is supposed to be like 93, 94 and above. So I was like, you are not feeling good. You're too sick for me to see you. Why don't you go to the emergency room? This man told me I am not going to the emergency room because if I go to the emergency room, I'm going to get kept there and I'm going to die in there and my family will not see me. And then he said, Dr. Stella, if you refuse to treat me, I'm going to just stay here and take my chances. And at least if I die here, I die with my family. Because I'm going to go to the emergency room. They're not going to give me the hydroxychloroquine and I'm going to die in there. And it is sad that we're in America and people are talking like that. It's sad. It's like there's a cage, there's a castrated cage that is concerned. The hospital administrators are in it. They have pharmacists. It's too much. It's too much for the people. And each day I keep screaming. I said, Dr. Fauci, let my people leave. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, Dr. Han, who is the head of the FDA, came out and said, prescribing hydroxychloroquine is between the doctor and the patient. Texas Medical Board came out and said the same thing. Prescribing hydroxychloroquine is between the doctor and the patient. So if you talk to many lawmakers, they'll be like, well, prescribing hydroxychloroquine is between the doctor and the patient. But at the end of the day, there are so many patients. When you start now prescribing it, the state board come and harasses you. The only reason that people like me are standing is because, like, I had decided that if I perish, I perish. I'm not going to let people die. I had decided that I am not just going to let people die.
All right.
But I've seen so many patients. I'm sure that. Go ahead.
You have very many doctors who are out there challenging your claims. Listen, I'd like you to listen to this doctor who happens to be one Dr. Fatai Oluyede. He's a Nigerian doctor. Please take a second, listen to him.
So, to come out and say first that you treated patients in the clinic and they all got better, and because of that, that applies to all situations without clear evidence. At least now we've gotten subsequent trials that have shown that maybe there's really nothing efficacious about using hydroxychloroquine. We use hydroxychloroquine in a lot of our inpatients, admitted patients, ICU patients, and there was no real, just these are anecdotes. Again, these were just real.
So he is calling.
Okay, for example, right? That doctor that is talking, that's so foolish. Number one, he's talking about ICU. The patients don't need to get to ICU. We say use hydroxychloroquine outpatient and early. When patient gets symptoms, they go to the emergency room, they send them home. I say, go and stay home till you get very sick and then you come to this, and then they put them in the ICU. Of course, by the time you're in the ICU, it's not efficacious anymore. It's supposed to be used early. What is the mechanism of that doctor? He's so stupid. What's the mechanism of action of hydroxychloroquine? Number one, it stops viral uptake. Number two, it stops viral replication. Number three, it opens zinc channels and allows zinc to go into the cell, which is a potent antiviral. So that is, and we've had over 53 studies that have shown this. You understand what I'm saying? So if that doctor that is an ICU doctor, he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's like telling me that somebody's telling you that, something about outpatient, and then you come and say, we did it in the ICU. Is that not what we're saying? Don't do it in the ICU. You don't have to wait for patients to get to the ICU. And that is what was so diabolic about this. Because when they started this thing, all through, they were trying to ban hydroxychloroquine from being used in the outpatient where it should be most effective, and only asking it to be used in the hospital when the patients are already too sick for it to work. If the virus has already got into the system, the virus has already been causing a cytokinin storm, it's not going to work. It needs to be used to stop uptake, which makes sense for it to be used for prophylaxis, and to stop replication, which makes sense for it to be used early. I have
Doctor,
lived in the house. Just, that doctor is
Doctor,
very
I think
stupid. You don't
one of
understand.
the contentions that this doctor is talking about is that hydroxychloroquine doesn't work in all situations. In your case, has it worked in
I
every
never said so.
situation?
I never said hydroxychloroquine work in every situation. My mantra has been early hydroxychloroquine works. Early hydrox, and they have worked for me because I'm in the clinic, I'm outpatient. If we see these patients go to the hospital when they have early symptoms and they don't take care of them, they send them home to wait till they can't breathe, till they have a cytokinin storm. That's diabolic. That's really demonic. It's like if you have cancer and you have early cancer when it can be operated, would they tell you go home and stay home till it has spread through the whole of your body, and then when you come back they say, well, operating cancer doesn't work? That's stupid. Do you understand saying? If you have high blood pressure, they're going to give you high blood pressure medicine outpatient. They're not going to say, okay, you just go home and stay till the high blood pressure has affected your heart, burnt out your kidneys, and then when you come to the hospital, they say, well, okay, if I saw you outpatient and put you on lisinopril, it controls your blood pressure. But if I don't put you on lisinopril and then we let the high blood pressure just go on and go on and go on till it knocks your brain and you get a stroke and your liver is out and your heart is out and everything, and then when you come to the hospital, like, well, lisinopril does not work. It does not make sense, because lisinopril should not work when your heart has already been destroyed. Hydroxychloroquine doesn't work when COVID has already ravaged your whole body. You're in a cytokinin storm. You have myocarditis. You have endocarditis. You have liver disease. You have lung disease. You have fibrosis and pneumonia and all that stuff. It does not work in those situations. It should not even get to that situation. If these doctors were taking care of patients when they should take care of patients, that is where we come in. We put people on prophylaxis and then we treat them early. Within the first 5 days, I am telling you, the results are remarkable. So that doctor does not know what he's talking about. He cannot be giving an opinion on something that he doesn't have a clue about.
So is there any stage at which this hydroxychloroquine is more effective with the patient?
Early hydroxychloroquine works. The most effective time for this medication is between the first 5 days of symptoms. That's the most effective. In fact, we've seen people that maybe the wife got COVID, they've been struggling for a week. They come to see us, we treat them. It takes maybe a week or so for them to get better. And then maybe the husband picked it up maybe 2 days before they came to see us. We give them medication, the husband gets better in 24, 48 hours while the wife is still struggling. I've seen many situations like that. Why? Because they started early. That is the whole crux of the matter. Don't let people go to the hospital and they send them home to go stay home. Do you know how scary it is? Let me tell you a story. I had a young lady, a Cameroonian lady. She came to the hospital, to the clinic. No, her family came to the clinic. She was sick. She was pregnant. 20. She said she was about 7.5 months pregnant, in her early 30s. So she went to the hospital. And listen, lady, you know it. She'll probably come out. She should be able to come out and give you testimony herself. She went to the hospital. She had pneumonia. They admitted her and treated her for 3 days, and then they sent her home. They didn't give her hydroxychloroquine. They sent her home. This woman was home. Oxygen was around 91, 92. She could not breathe. When I saw them, I was going to see her telemed. When I saw her, she could not breathe. She could barely utter a word or two because she could not breathe. So I told them to bring her to the clinic. I gave her a breathing treatment with steroids and Adderall. I put her on hydroxychloroquine. I put her on an antibiotic. Within 3 days, she was up and walking. Within a week, she was well. I'm talking about well. Do you understand what I'm saying? She did not have any other symptoms. She was well. And so the mom kept telling me, doctor, you don't understand the fear, because we just knew she was going to die. You don't understand the terror we lived through every day in the house watching her. This is crazy. It's crazy. So all these doctors that are talking smack, I would love to see them show me the patients that they've taken care of. That young man doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. Maybe he just wants a 15 minutes of fame, because you can't compare apples and oranges. I'm not the only doctor saying this. Like I said, Dr. Zelenko took care of over thousands of patients. We have Dr. Brian Proctor in McKinney, Texas. In fact, if you call him, you can probably interview him. I'll let him know you can interview him, Dr. Brian Proctor in McKinney, Texas. You know, she's seen a whole lot of patients. You know what I'm saying? Many people have seen a whole lot of patients. Dr. Raoul, a French virologist, seen over 4,000 patients. And now, many patients are coming out to say, hydroxychloroquine cured me. People, I'm talking about movie stars. This is not, it's no longer a secret. It's no longer a secret. The cat is out. So it's just, people are just talking smack. And let me say one more thing, sir. You remember they said that, Melinda Gates said that COVID was going to flow through Africa and people will be dropping like flies. Of course, we cancel her demonic prophecy over Africa. But here's the issue. COVID came to Nigeria at the same time it came to the US. It seeded into Nigeria at the same time. Why did Nigeria not start dropping down like flies?
That's a very good question, because you see, in all of Africa where hydroxychloroquine is very popular, we haven't seen the scale of COVID in Africa as a whole compared to the West.
Yes, because number one, when the people left Wuhan and they were going to Nigeria, they all told them, as the WHO always advises and CDC advises, that they should take anti-malaria because they were going to malaria endemic areas. So the people that left Wuhan and came to Nigeria came with malaria prophylaxis on. And that malaria prophylaxis knocked the COVID out of their system so they could not spread it all over Nigeria. That is why. Because let me ask you something. Can you social distance in the slums of Ajegunle or in Lagos Island? Can you social distance in any of that places? In fact, before they even locked down in Nigeria, if it's not that it's a malaria endemic area and these people that were coming there, their COVID got knocked out of their body with the malaria prophylaxis that they took, the whole, I mean, do you imagine the kind of wildfire of death and destruction that would have passed through Africa? But it didn't happen. Why? People should ask questions and stop, just ask questions. Let your brain work a little bit. That doctor that is talking, let your brain work a little bit.
Have you been?
Right now, we have ministers in Nigeria. There are ministers in Nigeria that come out and say that I was treated with COVID. Many people are saying it. It's all over the place. The YouTube is taking it down, Facebook is taking it down, and all these people are taking it down. And then we have, diabolic doctors like the one that came to talk nonsense that it doesn't work. I mean, as a doctor, your first thing is to treat, is to cure, not to kill. So the doctors are allowing people to die. They are allowing people to die. Okay, you want a double-blinded study. You want to wait for 6 months. If in 6 months' time you actually found out that this medication works, what are you going to talk to the people that have died? What are you going to say? I cannot do that. I took an oath, life, not for death. And moreover, I'm a woman of God. I am not going to sit down and let people die. What would I say to God? That I knew the cure and I didn't use it because I was scared for my license, or I was scared that somebody was going to talk bad about me, or I was scared of something. And like I've told you, if this is the cross where I die, then this is the cross where I die. I'm not going to let people die. People are coming from all over the country, all over the world to see us. People are traveling into Texas just so that I can see them.
Doctor, what do you say to those who say you are fronting for Donald Trump re-election?
That's very funny. That is so funny. I'm fronting for Donald Trump elections. I mean, I could front for Donald Trump. Listen, I'm a Republican. I voted for Donald Trump. You understand? I don't agree with everything he says or does, but I'm a Republican. I believe in small government. I believe in rights of people. I believe in working and taking care of yourself. I don't believe in welfare system. I am a Republican. But what do I need to front for Donald Trump for? I'm a doctor. If I wanted to front for Donald Trump, I would be in the White House now. I mean, since I came out and all this started happening, if I wanted to compromise and sit down and join those white coat people, I'll be all over the place. You understand what I'm saying? It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I mean, I'm a physician. I have enough money to take care of myself. I don't even need to front for nobody.
Okay.
Do you think that I'm going to go through all this and put myself through all this stuff that is going just so that I can front for some, is Donald Trump my father?
Okay. I like you to...
It's just, people, I can't sit down and let people die. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. If I perish, I perish. I'm not going to sit down and let people die. And I'm just talking to, you see, one of the things that is really bothering me right now is that since I came out and I started talking like this, I am telling you, there are days that between me and the three providers that I have, easily we can see 100 patients. We are very busy. But the crazy part about it is
Are
that
you afraid?
people.
Are you afraid for your life and what the pharmaceuticals can do?
No, I'm not afraid of my life. I'm not afraid for my life. I'm God's battle axe and weapon of war. I'm a warrior in the kingdom of God. I'm not afraid of humans. They can't do anything to me. I'm not afraid of the devil. You know, so I'm saying at the mention of the name of Jesus, every knee bows. I don't have no fear. They can't do anything to me. My times are in the hands of the Lord. You know, this is what I tell people. I died to my own life so many years ago. I lived my life to be pleasing to God, to do His will and His purpose on this earth. Do you understand? My main scriptures in Revelation where they say that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony because we love not our lives unto death. I do not love my life unto death, so I don't care. If I perish, I perish. And anybody that has ever said, if I perish, never perished. They can't touch me. I am God's battle axe. Heaven is backing me up. You know, so I'm a princess of God. And you know what? As God's warrior princess, I have a battalion of angels that watch over me every time. That is why they are shaking in their boots, because they know that their kingdom is about to be destroyed. I'm not scared of nothing.
Please take a listen to this, please.
And a lot of good things have come out about the hydroxy. A lot of good things have come out. I happen to be taking it.
Hydroxychloroquine?
I'm taking it. Hydroxychloroquine.
If it's safe enough for the president, why is...
All right, that was Donald Trump there, a strong advocate for hydroxychloroquine. He himself, he says he takes it. Now, I also like you to just listen to this other clip here, please.
I just want to say I think it's incredibly bizarre.
Its safety profile is better than over-the-counter medications like Tylenol.
The safety profile is better than over-the-counter medication. That is one of your colleagues, I guess, who was with you in D.C. Again,
it's safer than Tylenol.
Okay.
It is safer than Tylenol, for real. They need to put that. You see, hydroxychloroquine is over the counter in many countries. They need to. What we're advocating for right now. Let hydroxychloroquine become over the counter in America. Let the people make a choice. In America, we have a right to try. Let people make a choice of what they want to do. But let me tell you something. One of the things that we've done is that we've created a network of physicians all over the country who see patients in every single state. If you go to frontlinemds.com, frontlinemds.com, they can put it frontlinemds, that's mds.com. Wherever you are, whatever state you are in the United States, we're going to find a doctor that will take care of you, that will give you prophylaxis, that will treat you. You don't have to die. You don't even have to catch the disease. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's a serious underground grassroots work that we're doing. You understand what I'm saying? And this thing is going to topple over like a bunch of cats, because the truth cannot hide anymore. So you need hydroxychloroquine. You go to your doctor, they can't give it to you. Go to frontlinemds.com. You're going to get a doctor that will prescribe it for you.
Why do you think so many other doctors in this country are opposed to using hydroxychloroquine when in Europe, in France, for instance, it is being used? But in this country, these other doctors are so opposed to it. Why do you think they are so opposed to it?
I'll give you. It's several layers. Number one, most doctors that come out and say all this crazy stuff, they are not even in a position to defend or say anything against hydroxychloroquine because they don't use it. All those exotic specialties like plastic surgery and dermatology, they're never going to see a COVID patient. So they can sit down and, because they have MD behind them, people can listen to them. Like I was listening to Sanjay Gupta talk. I said, Sanjay Gupta, when have you ever seen a COVID patient? Even Anthony Fauci, I said, Anthony Fauci, when is the last time you put a stethoscope on a patient? So there are a lot of people that are talking that they've never seen patients. Oh, do a double-blinded study. Clinicians, we are clinicians. We don't do double-blinded studies. The scientists that do double-blinded studies and take their whole head and rather destroy humanity on a double-blinded study, they don't see patients. You understand what I'm saying? We are clinicians. We see patients. Frontline doctors, we see patients. We see families stand in front of us crying because I have diabetes and I have COVID and I think I'm going to die. Do you understand? These people don't see that. So number one, most of the doctors, America is a place where everybody is a soft specialty. There are not that many primary care doctors in America. So a lot of most primary care doctors know what we're talking about. Then, of course, the second group of people are those that don't know. But what I mean by they don't know is that I grew up in Africa. I trained in Africa. I use hydroxychloroquine. I'm convinced. I'm I'm comfortable with the medication. Most doctors in America have never used hydroxychloroquine. They are not comfortable with the medication. If somebody said that, oh, it's going to stop their hearts, then they believe it because they don't know the medicine. They are not comfortable with it. That's number 2. Number 3, a lot of doctors are afraid for their license. There are many doctors that will tell me, Dr. Stella, please, I need hydroxychloroquine, but I cannot prescribe it because I work for a hospital system, I work for this person, I work for that, and they're not going to let me prescribe it. They will fire me. And you see, Dr. Gold, Simone Gold, she was fired. She was fired. This a board certified emergency room doctor. She was fired from the hospital she works for because of what we have been talking about. The only good thing with me is that
if I may stop you there a little bit, working in the hospital in a practice that is not your own private practice, are doctors allowed to prescribe just what they want to prescribe without express permission from the hospital board?
These hospitals have actually put, first of all, they'll take it out of the formulary. If they take it out of the formulary, you cannot prescribe it to the patient inpatient. If they don't take it out of the formulary, they can tell you not to prescribe it. Most of these doctors are saying that, oh, we don't prescribe it. So a lot of these doctors that are working with a lot of these agencies, hospitals, doctor groups and everything, they are scared of prescribing this medicine because they will come against them, they will lose their jobs, they will lose their source of income. A lot of them have young children, they don't want to put that in jeopardy. So yes, so these are a lot of doctors that are like, no, I can't do this. And a lot of them, they talk to me. Like I said, I've treated over 100 doctors that come to me they come to say, Dr. Stella, we need prophylaxis. I put on prophylaxis. I've treated some that have been sick, just something. So a lot of them are scared. That's number 3. Number 4, we have a whole bunch of doctors that are leftists, that are political hacks. They figure that, well, if this craziness continues, then Donald Trump will lose the election and then some Democrats will win. It doesn't make sense to me because I'm a doctor first, because before I'm a politician. I'm a doctor first. You should be a doctor first, not a politician. COVID doesn't care whether you're Democrat, whether you're Republican, whether you're any color. COVID does not care. COVID is going to destroy you if it's going to destroy you. You're going to catch it. If it's going to burn your lungs out and kill you, it will burn your lungs out and kill you. It's not going to stop and say, well, I'm just not going to burn this particular lung out because this lung is a democratic lung. You know what I'm saying? That is stupid.
Talking about politics.
That's stupid for people to put politics over people's lives.
Talking about politics, you are picking issues with so many powerful institutions. We're talking about the pharmaceutical industries. You mentioned Bill Gates, you mentioned CNN. Are you not concerned that these are 2 powerful institutions that can just come over you and smash you and kill your practice?
No, they can't, because they know me. He that is in me is greater than he that is in all those institutions. I am God's battle axe and weapon of war. They know me in the spirit. Those diabolical people, they know who I am. Let them come, it will be on. Why do you think they've not squashed me? Moreover, I don't care. What are they going to do, kill me? What are they going to lock me up? Just tell me, what are they going to do to me? Close down my practice? What? They don't really have anything. You see, you know why all these jihadists are so powerful? Because they love not their lives unto death. I'm one of those people. Like I said, I died to my own will so long ago. I only live to serve God and do His will. And you cannot kill somebody that's already dead. I died to my own will and to my own purpose. You cannot kill me because I'm already dead to my own will and purpose. I live by God's will, and God watches over me, and it is only at His will that anything will happen to me. Nobody else can touch me. Only God's decree can touch me.
Have you met or received a call from President Trump since this whole thing started?
No.
How?
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Let me explain this to you. You see, when I went to DC, the first day after I talked, I went viral. Everybody was excited. I had all kinds of interviews from up mainstream, this, that. And then, of course, CNN went online and pulled out my ministry and did the hit job, started calling what I believe in demons, sperm, and aliens and stuff like that. Of course, aliens exist. So, with all that, everybody started looking at it like, man, this girl, she's too controversial. So let's leave her alone. So that actually protected me. So because the day they were going, I was supposed to go with them to go and see my parents. But when they were leaving, they did not tell me anymore because they were all worried. Because they came back to me and said, oh, you need to take down your website. You need to take down your ministry website because it has a lot of controversiality. I told them, I said, do you guys know how I got here? Back off. I am a child of God before I'm a doctor. I'm a minister and a God's weapon of war before I'm a doctor. If I'm going to back off one thing, I'm going to back off being a doctor, not being a child of God, or not being God's minister. There are doctors that are a dime a dozen, but warriors like me are one in a million. So I told them to back off and just leave me alone. So when they were that kind of protected me in a way, because if I had started going through the wrongs of, talk to the president, talk to the vice president, very soon they'll start caging me on what I should say and what I cannot say, and what looks good and what does not look good. So no, the Holy Spirit actually protected me from all that. So I'm a free agent. I can do whatever I want to do.
How has this publicity impacted your ministry?
Oh my God. It's been, I cannot, so that first week, right, when I drove into our church, we're a small church, we're a prayer house, our job is to pray for revival, pray. If you guys look down at my messages for the past, we used to go out on the streets and pray for America and stuff. But so our ministries, because our ministry is so intense, we're not like a big church, but God kept telling us that He was going to open our ministry worldwide, So the first day, that first week I got back home, I drove into our church on Sunday. You wouldn't believe me, I almost turned around and drove back out. There were cars parked everywhere. I think we have about maybe 70, 80 people showed up in our little ministry. I was like, oh my God, who are these people?
How were they able to locate your church?
I mean, it's online, so they located it. Last week we had to put up a tent. We put up a tent in front of our church because our church usually can seat about 120 people, but with social distancing, maybe 50, 60. And then you can imagine, like this past Sunday, we had maybe 100 and something people showed up. So we had to put out a tent outside of the house, and we put a tent outside and connected television and everything hurriedly so that we can be able to have, because people just came from everywhere. When this message that I did on Spirit Husband, Spirit Wife, that CNN took it and started bashing it, I was like, before they started bashing it, had maybe 150,000 views. But right now it's had close to 800,000 views. People are calling me from everywhere. People are texting me from everywhere. Our messages have become so popular. Messages that have maybe 1,000 views on YouTube, now they have 35,000, 50,000. I did a prayer on Facebook. It's had maybe 300 and something thousand views. It has been like, I'm telling you, it's like God used the devil to promote me.
And how
CNN just went boom.
And how has it impacted your practice? I mean, your clinic, do you see more patients walking in or what? I'm
telling people, as I was about to get on the interview with you, there were people standing in front of my clinic that they wanted to see me to sign autograph. I was like, please no. You know what I'm saying? We've had patients, we're overwhelmed. I'm asking doctors, please get up and see people. We're overwhelmed. I mean, I don't have time for anything because I can't leave these patients. You know, I don't have time to do much because I'm overwhelmed. Sometimes I'm in a day. The other day we had telemed patients. I kept seeing and seeing and seeing. It will not drop from 50. No matter how many. You know what I'm saying? We are overwhelmed. That's why I'm saying doctors wake up and see patients. And I cannot, people like Dr. Stella, you need to come and do this. I can't because I have patients to see. That the first thing, I'm a doctor. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to let people get sick because I want to around the world and do interviews.
Have you been invited by the medical board in Texas to either question or get some better understanding about what you are doing with this hydroxychloroquine?
Of course, the medical board has written me a harassing letter, so we're working with them.
Oh, they've written you letters?
Of course, they wrote me harassing.
Are you concerned that they may seize your license?
For what? Now, what did I do? I'm not concerned. Listen, I've told you now, I'm not scared of anything. I'm not concerned of jack squat. Let me tell you something. I have written 13 books. I'm a businesswoman. I love the practice of medicine, but medicine is not the only thing that I do. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not like if they take my license, I'm going to die. But they're not going to take my license because there's no reason to do that. I mean, please, I'm really not worried about anything. I'm not scared for nothing, like nothing. I'm not worried about Bill Gates. In fact, Texas Medical Board or whoever. As long as I'm doing the right thing, I'm going to keep doing the right thing. I'm not going to let anybody stop me from doing the right thing. And we will fight it to the end.
We are trying to round this up soon, but let me ask, have you heard from any doctors in Africa and what are they saying to you?
Oh, yes. I mean, I've had I've had many doctors that have contacted me because the protocol that I put together for COVID, there are many doctors that are using it. I've had to send it to many people. I've sent it to doctors in Brazil, sent it to doctors in Kenya, I've sent it to doctors in Zimbabwe, South Africa. There are many doctors that have contacted me for the protocol, even in India, in many countries. That doctors have contacted me and I've had to send them our protocol so that they can take care of patients. So it's been very rewarding. You know, sometimes I feel very honored when doctors. Doctors, specialists, I've had to give my protocol to over 100 doctors. I feel very honored because, you know, it's an honor for my colleagues to trust me enough to be like, okay, good, Dr. Stella, you're doing something. Right now, anybody says anything about COVID, everything, most of the doctor groups, they send it to me. They send it to me, oh, Dr. Stella, what do you think about this? Dr. Stella, what do you think about that? What is the protocol for that? How much zinc do you take? How much vitamin C should you take? What is the protocol for prevention? So I actually really just made a protocol and I just sent to them. So yes, I've had to give protocol to many physicians, and I'm very honored to do that.
Now, as you know, this hydroxychloroquine in Africa is over-the-counter medication. But when it comes to the treatment of COVID, I guess many of them do not know when and how to apply it. Can you look at your camera and speak eyeball to our listeners in Africa who are watching you by way of satellite and tell them exactly what they should do if they feel they have symptoms of COVID?
Okay, I have 3 levels of medicine. We have those that want to take COVID medication for COVID for prevention. Take it the same way you take for malaria. Malaria we used to take Sunday. Take the same dose you take for malaria. Instead of doing it every Sunday, you can actually do it every other Sunday, like every 2 weeks. Reason is that hydroxychloroquine has a very long half-life, about maybe 30 to 50 days. Because of the long half-life, you don't have to take it that often. Just 1 pill every 2 weeks should keep you safe. But if you get infected, usually like with hydroxychloroquine, which I think is almost equivalent with chloroquine, you should take 2 tablets, which is 400 milligrams, twice a day, day 1, 1 tablet twice a day from day 2 to day 5. And then after that, you can just take 1 tablet every other week. Reason is we don't know whether people that have COVID can get reinfected. Then take it with vitamin C, maybe 1,000 to 2,000 grams. Take it with Zitromax Z-Pack, which is like 2 tablets. Z-Pack is already it's already taken as directed. And then you can take it with zinc, anywhere from 30 to 50 milligrams of zinc. And if anybody has any question, if the doctor has any question or everything, just inbox me on Facebook. Just give me a little break because or you can send me a text on 318-792-5972, 318-792-5972, and we will send you the protocol. Because like I said, there are a lot of doctors. I mean, even after there are a lot of doctors that are using the same protocol, you know, and that I've given the protocol to that are using it everywhere. And most of us that are using the protocol, we're kind of using the similar protocol. Like I said, I will hook you up to probably interview Dr. Brian Proctor, some of the doctors in McKinney that's also been doing a lot of good work. Dr. Richard also that have been doing a lot of good work. So, you know, so that they can actually speak to people, you know, not just me, because sometimes they think that I'm only one. There are other doctors that are doing this work and we're getting like really, really tremendous results. And a lot of people have been treated that right now it's too late for us to say it's not working. Because people that have been treated, come on this thing and say it. People that have been treated in Cameroon and got well. Like my mom is on flavopine back home. And you think, oh no, when people get COVID, they give them the treatment and they get well, they get better. So,
all right,
yes,
talking about Cameroon, is a country in conflict, in war. Actually, as you know, the conflict between the southern Cameroons and La République du Cameroon. How much do you know of this conflict? I know in my earlier discussion with you before the cameras, you had mentioned that you are not very much in the community, but I guess at least you have some idea.
Yes,
what do you know?
Mean, see right. Let me put it this way. I have a peripheral knowledge of it. And because especially my village, which is Bali, became an epicenter of the war, right? And I've had a few cousins that have died in this war. So it affects me personally. But am I involved in the Ambazonian struggle peripherally? This is why I will say that. There are times in your life when God takes you to particular battles, through particular battles, and that is the way I flow with my battles, the way God takes me. There were times that several years ago when I did a lot of work in Cameroon, we did a lot of crusades. We started a Christian resource center. I still have children on scholarship. We did a lot. We used to go to Bali and do crusades and do health fairs and stuff like that. There was a time when God had the burden for Cameroon of Honya. We prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed for Cameroon, and we did a lot of work in Cameroon at that time. And we put some things in place that are still working till today. And then there were times when the Lord took the burden was of Cameroon lifted off me, and I was working like in the islands. I did a lot of work in the Bahamas and in the Caribbean and stuff like that. So those ones. But right now, the burden that God has upon me is to fight for America, and a fight for the soul of America is a fight for the world. If America goes down, the darkness covers America, the whole world is going to be covered with darkness. So the battle that I'm fighting right now is the battle for the soul of America. I would love to dabble into the Ambazonian battle, but right now I really can't, because the battle that God has me fighting right now is for the soul of America, and it affects the whole world. Because when I spoke that day on this, it did not break that fear over just America. It broke things over the minds of people all over the world. So right now I'm on a global battle. I just can't focus on Amazonia. But if there's anything that I can do, I can do it. I just don't believe that the president should be a president for life. We should be able to get independence. But those are my personal views. I'm not cognizant. I'm not like.
Now you just opened another war front there. You know that, right?
What?
You just opened another war front.
The president should be a president for life.
Yes.
No, a president should not be a president for life. That does not make no sense. President needs to hand over to some other people. That's just the way it works. That's what democracy is supposed to be, right? That is not even a war front. That's just common knowledge. I don't know why African leaders do that. That's kind of like crazy. You see, there are a lot of African leaders that they could have retired and be like patriots. You understand what I'm saying? And be respected and loved and everything. But they cling to power until they are chased out of there with guns and sticks, and it's so crazy. And then instead of them becoming like patriots and becoming like fathers of the nation and be taken care of, it's crazy. It's crazy. But a lot of African countries do that, Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Doctor, we will talk about that behind the cameras when we meet. We do that behind the cameras. But listen, before you go, some people...
And just to say that, one more thing.
Okay.
One more thing, with all this stuff that has been going on, people coming from everywhere, we've just put up a tent and we're going to start revival. We just started from this week. We're going to start praying, and people are coming in. So we're starting revival today, and we're going to pray until God shifts and moves something around this nation.
Okay. For those who are watching from Houston, can you give us the address, please?
It's at our church, 25231 Rosna Lane, Katy, Texas, 77494. And if anybody wants to be seen, if you're sick, you can go to my clinic. My clinic is on 6728 Highway 6 South. It's right at the corner of Bel Air and Highway 6, right behind the Walgreens.
And there are those who are still asking for the phone number you mentioned earlier. Can you read that number again?
That phone number was for people for doctors that want to text or find out the dosage. I get so many texts that most of the time I will not reply them if it's not very important. So if you're sick, I need to be seen, listen to me so that you know exactly what needs to be done. So that you don't send a text and then I don't reply. Because, listen, brother, the other day I turned my phone, I had 1,000 WhatsApp messages. I had 300 and something text messages and over 200 and something calls. On Facebook, I have over 1,000 Facebook messages. I just quietly closed my phone and kept it down and did not look at it again for a while. Thank God my spiritual parents are here with me. They had to help me go sort out. That's probably why you didn't get me for a while, because I could just not go through that many messages. I will not have time. So you know what I'm saying? If you need to get medication, you need to get prevention, go to frontlinemds.com. frontlinemds.com. If you are sick, you need to see me, you need to go to the clinic, just go ahead, walk in. We're a walk-in clinic. You don't need to make an appointment, just walk in. And of course, our ministry is online, firepowerministries.org.
What are the meeting hours?
Yeah, we're starting at from 5 to 8. We kind of want to keep it during the day. We start from 5 p.m.
5 to 8. Is it evening service?
Yes, Monday to Saturday. What?
Is it an evening service?
Monday to Saturday. Yes, 5 p.m. Sorry, not a.m. Sorry, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So we start from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the evening.
You don't have services on Sundays?
No, it's Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday. Then Sunday we have regular service at 11 o'clock.
Okay, all right.
So yes, Sunday service is regular at 11 o'clock, but this is going to be from Monday to Saturday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we're going to pray because something needs to break, something needs to be shattered. These powers need to be pushed out, and this coronavirus needs to go back to the pit where it came from. And the children of people, the world needs to be released from the prison that everybody has been put in, that prison of fear. And you understand? It's like all of us are locked up in this prison. Children have been locked up, fear. You understand? So it's only prayer that will break us out of that prison, because these people that are doing this thing, they are so diabolic. They are diabolic. It's not just about money. They are diabolic.
Before you go, will it be okay for you and some of your patients that have been healed of this corona-19 with hydroxychloroquine, will it be okay to have a roundtable, a town hall, to sit down with them?
Why don't you see, you're on the media, why don't you just announce it, that patients that have been treated by Dr. Emmanuel, they should come forth.
Okay.
They can hear me. There are a lot of my patients in Houston and everything, that patients that we've treated, I have persons on the line to treat you people. Now that you've been treated and you've gotten better, come forth and speak. But like I said, a lot of my patients that have been speaking on the internet and speaking on Facebook, and their videos are being taken down.
I would love to have like 15, 20 of them out of over 300. Just come into the studio here and we do a live broadcast.
Listen, brother. Listen, sir, you people are interested in getting 20 people to come for live broadcast. I am seeing 80 patients a day. I don't have time. I want to take care of my patients. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have anything to prove to you or to anybody else, because people are dying. Do you understand what I'm saying? I would love to be going around doing town hall meetings. I just don't have the time.
No, not for you, of course. Not for you, just for those patients. Not for you, just for those patients.
Call them. You can make a clarion call. You're on TV. Make a clarion call. There are Cameroonians that have treated, Nigerians that have treated, Hispanics, white people. Something. Put a clarion call. Let them come forth. They will. They should.
All right.
It's just like people are telling me, well, Dr. Stella, you have to publish your data now. I don't have time to put together data to be published. People are sick and need to be treated. Do you understand what I'm saying? My whole this thing, like I'm talking to you right now, just as I'm talking to you. Do you know how many patients have dropped on my telemedicine that I have to see? Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's a lot. It's just a lot. Right now, my focus, I'm a clinician first before I'm trying to defend any other thing that I'm trying to do. So my job right now is to take care of patients, stop them from being sick. Teachers are going back to school, so they are coming to us in drones, trying to get prevention so that they can go back to school. Students are going back to school, so we're really slammed. I just wish other doctors would wake up and start seeing patients. Because we're slammed, we're overwhelmed, we're slammed with patients. It should be, as a physician, you should be happy that, you're having many patients. But when it becomes overwhelming, you're like, please, somebody take some of them, But I have to take care of people. I have people calling me from Louisiana, Kentucky, because I'm licensed in 3 states. So I'm basically covering 3 states,
All right. Dr. Stella, it was a privilege.
The truth is coming out soon, so don't worry.
Yes. It was very exciting having you here on ABC, and we appreciate your time. I know you are taking time out of your many patients to be here to speak to our audience. Thank you for showing up. I will definitely get to you. We have so much still to talk about. God bless.
Amen. God bless. Thank you.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Stella Emmanuel, right here on ABC television. We've got so many other things to talk about. Please stay put. Do not touch your remote. I am going to be right back.
Inflation 100% guarantees that you will not lose your money, has tax-free growth and distribution, the ability to take an interest-free loan, avoids probate, provides creditor protection, guarantees your family that your income will be replaced should you die, helps you protect yourself financially against chronic, critical, and terminal illness, and of course allows you to take money anytime for any reason at any age without a tax penalty. You need only as little as $50 to invest per month. Contact Irene Fombo. Tell 513-5014-177 or send an email to irenenpmsn@gmail.com. You need a financial instrument that provides a hedge against inflation, 100% guarantees that you will not lose your money, has tax-free growth and distribution, the ability to take an interest-free loan, avoids probate, provides creditor protection, guarantees your family that your income will be replaced should you die, helps you protect yourself financially against chronic, critical, and terminal illness, and of course allows you to take money anytime for any reason at any age without consequence. You need only as little as $50 to invest per month. Contact Irene Fombo. Tell 513-5014-177 or send an email to irenenpmsn@gmail.com.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was Dr. Stella Emmanuel. I hope that what she said made lots of sense to all of you watching out there. The problem we have in this country is everything is being politicized. And I mean, when I say this country, I mean the USA. Everything is being politicized. If you are suffering, or any of your family members suffering from COVID-19, please seek this kind of treatment. For as long as it has cured nobody, I will say to you, feel free to do so. And if you come back, I will say it also to, I'm going to end this broadcast right now. If you want to rewatch it or send it to somebody, download it right away, because we are not sure that Facebook or YouTube is going to keep it live or keep it on. Every other interview she has offered has been taken off by YouTube and taken off by Facebook. So I will be back here tomorrow with the rest of the information I was supposed to bring to you. But before I go, I just want to remind you that ABC Amber Drive is coming up August 30th, and I'm appealing to each and every one of you who is a fan of ABC. Please get ready to draft, get ready to support, to donate for ABC. For those of you in the USA, ABC is a non-profit organization. Every donation is tax deductible. Every donation is tax deductible. I want to thank you for tuning in. Again, I will come back tomorrow with the rest of information that I couldn't bring to you today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.